So the newest thing here is to definitely make sure that people kneel before Zod. That's what seems to be going on. The problem is you can kneel before Zod, but you can't kneel before, well, polyester. That's the issue. You can't kneel before polyester. Overly manufactured, crap that no one gives a damn about until there's an uprising in the South. That seems to be about it. The United States flag, for those that don't want to look it up on Wiki or anything like that, which I did, because I was curious, what is the United States flag? What is it? And it's very simple. It's just cloth, and it has 13 bars to represent the original 13 British colonies. It also has the that blue field, what I used to think was just water, but no, that represents the Union. That's, the Union is one mass together. And in that one mass, do you have the original 13 stars? And as states became anew, so that stars were added. Now, in all honesty, here's something that sounds a little lazy, considering the fact that there are 50 stars up there and it's all in a nice little row, off 6 rows of 9 and whatnot, per se. Something like that. I'm not gonna be wrong, and I don't care right now. But there's 50 stars up there. Why would they not add another star? Because that would just ruin what we already have. So no, Puerto Rico cannot become a state. In other places, like the Philippines, that can't become a state. America Samoa cannot become a state because you don't want to add another star up there. And you also, there's so many things that'll come from it. I mean, while the resources are reaped, by us, I mean, they can't become part of us. See, if we take their stuff, then they become part of us. Then that means we have to actually help them. Oh, no, don't do that. So imagine how it is here at home, because here, the flag represents British independence from the United Kingdom. So they came here and they fought really hard and they won. They won the right to do to lots of others what was being done to them. They didn't like being the harsh cruelties and fascism of the ways there in the United Kingdom back then. So they came here and they did it in a grotesque manner here. So it's great that that what we celebrate, when you stand up and put your hand over your heart and you take your cover off and, make sure there's nothing on your head, and you stand for this national anthem and you salute that flag. That what you are saluting is what you call the greatest vile victory in history, because there has been no genocide stronger than that of the natives of this land. There isn't. Was slavery bad? Yes. Was it as bad as what happened to the natives here? Hell no. Not even close. Not even close. So when you look at those 13 bars, no, the red doesn't represent the red blood of America. No, it doesn't. The white doesn't represent the white of America. Yes, I have heard that. Your kind don't belong here. It's red and white up on the flag, not red and black. Yes, I've heard that. It's been said to my face. Yes. And I was like, if it's so red and white, then why don't you go outside and bleed, white guy? They didn't like that. But, yeah, and I thought the blue represented the water, the oceans of this earth, and the stars represented, the stars in the sky and all this other stuff. And then I was like, oh, 50 stars, 50 states. I got that one quick. But nobody really knew what the rest was. So I looked it up, and I'm trying to figure out how in the world is this cloth of symbolism that really should not befit us today at all, because that doesn't represent us. I mean, is it still British colony? Is that what we really are? Are we still a British colony? Because if so, then we need to stop calling white Americans white Americans. We need to call them white Europeans still here in this land. We need to call them colonialists. We could call them genocidists or whatever the fuck it would be. We could call them anything, but we can't call it white America. Sorry, guys, because that flag represents British. It's the British. All right, mate. Go back over there to Britain. Go back to where you came from. You fuckers. That's how I see it. Get on home. Go back. Go back to where you came. Go on. You want us to go back to Africa? You first? You got here first. We got here second. We'll watch how you make it and then we'll copy you. How about that? Go on home. Get. Dumbasses. So that's what I've been thinking about in the NFL. What do they want to do? Oh man, sorry my voice going down. I'm sick, but I can't believe I'm actually tickling myself because I was pretty much ticked off. But I'm just sitting here thinking the NFL is like, look, you cannot kneel. We're gonna make a policy. So now you have to. I'm like, whoa. Now that is 100% unadulterated, unmitigated fascism. That is fascism right there. And you know what? What they don't really want to touch on is that ain't no different than plantation slave owners. That's all that is. You got these white guys in charge of a great deal of black guys that are vying for masses' love. That's what the fuck is going on. And you got all these people. Now there's white guys out there that's kneeling too, saying, what the fuck kind of country am I going to stand and salute to when that country is beating the shit out of people that have done nothing to them? And you have to think about that kind of rhetoric. You know, these people in this country, born, raised, paid their ways, paid their dues, and their lives are razed to the ground by a country that they're supposed to stand and support. And people are going to stand and salute that? Oh, that's just insane. That is what you call a bona fide Stockholm syndrome right there. To love what's beating the shit out of you and then support it? Oh, no, no, no. People aren't seeing that. They're not talking about that. They're not talking about this. So you've got these NFL owners that don't do shit, really. And they made a policy where they can't kneel. So now they can be sued. They can be fined. They can be released. So this is just like slave days. You got 13 people watching over 200 to maybe 400. And I think at the most was 720 slaves. So you mean to tell me all these football players, damn their race, heritage, or whatever the fuck, they're going to listen to these people? They're going to do what they say? See, when we see how this unfolds, if the NFL players don't go on a massive strike and just say, fuck you and fuck this, we can take our money and do something else. If that doesn't happen, then you'll have your answer on why we can't get an actual unified third party in this country. You will have your answer why people rather split up into multiple parties, multiple groups of ideologies, and bitch and bicker amongst each other instead of actually taking a fight where it needs to be. You will have your answer. You will have exactly that and nothing less. That is why I'm looking at this story. And I'm waiting for follow-ups. I don't want to be like the rest of social media and just try to get views and clicks and shit like that. No, I'd like to see what the hell happened, because this is it. This is it. The government has used the police in a militarized situation, giving them every ability of power and licenses to kill. And not only are they judged by us and set free for the murders and massacres that they commit and uprooting of lives that they have caused. No, they have used the police to destroy peaceful protests. They have used the police to make sure boot to neck is made and the ability to have any furthering of brown lives in this country halted. That's what the police has been used for. Because that's why you don't see protect and serve on the side of their car. Because they're not protecting and serving us. They're not. They are simply dogs of the government. And you've got our government saying we can destroy you and we'll destroy anyone overseas so long as it puts money in our pockets. So long as you know your place. And now you've got the government, because the owners of the NFL, they simply said, hey, we're doing this to appease Trump. We're doing this to appease the white evangelicals out there that seem to somehow, that I've never seen them. I really haven't really seen any, but they have this mass control over other religions and especially politicians. They seem to have this dominant control where they, who are not all up on TV that I've seen, because I don't even really watch TV, but they have this power. So that's what they're doing. I want to see the people in the NFL stand up and go on strike. The NFL has done it before. They've done it before. Twice the NFL has gone on strike that I can recall. Now, the strikes didn't last long because they got their way quick. All right. I'm curious. Are you curious? Now, one side note, I was going to do this for CR Wrestling, but I'll save it for here because it's not necessarily wrestling. But while the NFL says you are not allowed your freedom, listen now, you are not allowed to practice the freedom of speech by physically kneeling in silent, non-harmful protest against barbarism within the police force and how people are treated upon the streets who are doing nothing. Can't have that. Someone needs to come in. And that's Vince McMahon. As much as I don't like WWE, as much as I don't like him, but he wants to bring back the XFL, bring it back and hire these people in the NFL who don't want to work for these crazy, racist, Second Amendment toting, First Amendment destroying, non-law abiding assholes who make mad money and do not have to pay taxes because the NFL is subsidized by everything. They bitch and moan about not making money, but all they do is get government handouts from anyone who's working. And yet they have the nerve to say themselves that people are lazy and on government welfare. And they get to vote for Republicans to say that they don't want people on welfare, so get them out. It's time for a change. And it can happen. And we got to see the NFL players stand up and make that change. Because if you do that there, if they stand up there and they show those overlords, their bosses, their employers, their overseers, their owners, if they stand up to them and say, we are not your dogs, we are not your slaves, then those NFL players, like Colin Kaepernick, they get to be a beacon of light for all the 99% that want and need change in this country. This is their moment. This is their time. And as I said before, if they don't do it, you will know exactly why slavery happened the way it did. You'll know exactly why the British, they dominated this land the way they did. Because so many people that don't want to have anything to do with the war or that level of violence or anything like that got steamrolled. Because when you got 1,200 people afraid to fight and 13 who can't wait to fight, you know who's going to win. You know who. This is Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.